All right, guys, this is Crazy Kev here, and I'm here with CFFC grappler Nick Toscano. Nick, how we doing?
Good, good. How we doing? Happy Memorial
Doing
Day.
good. And yeah, man, with like we just mentioned, man, you were just grappling at CFFC. Talk to us a little bit about your performance and what it was like to kind of go out there and compete and get the big win.
Well, probably one of the biggest platforms that we can compete on in grappling, at least around here. I would argue in the world with UFC Fight Pass and all that. But leading up to it, it was stressful, man. I compete a lot, but I handle it better sometimes than I do other times, but it's a very emotional experience for me. But this one in particular, just the stage, the lights, the show, everything, and then my opponent's background. Of course, I looked into his background. Everything was definitely getting to me, and I had a emotional couple days leading up to it. But you know, my coach and myself, we just worked through it all. He talked me through it, and he was able to go out there and get it done. And as you saw with the celebration, I couldn't believe I got it done. It was a surreal moment for sure.
Yeah, no, yeah, it definitely was, man. And with that being said, man, I mean, obviously since you got a win over a pretty big opponent now, I mean, how's that deal for your confidence? And what's maybe next for you now with your grappling?
Really, dude, I just compete as much as I can. I mean, the reason this win feels so big for me is because I guess I'm a quote unquote normal guy. Like, I work a 9 to 5. I'm a teacher. I do a master's degree. I do a bunch of other things, and I train and compete a lot because I love doing it. But, I've always looked at myself as more of a normal guy, if you will. But so it makes me feel like I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I guess I'm doing something right,
Yeah, 100%, man. And I was sitting in the crowd, and there was a couple people behind me, and they're like, "Oh, that's the rash guard of the night." Can you talk to us a little bit more about your rash guard and kind of how you came up with the logo and that idea?
So the whole thing, of course, as I'm sure my face gives away, and as you were probably very easily able to figure out, but that originated on Hammer Challenge series, HCS, that promotion.
Yes.
Yeah, so I did just a match on there. I think it was December 8, 2022. Like, it was a while ago now. And when I got the win there, I remember just for fun, I did it because, I just did it. And I remember I got like a lot of attention for it. Like, a lot of people were like tagging me in things, and like people I didn't even know, right? Just tagging me. And like all of a sudden I was like seeing it everywhere. So I was kind of like, all right, I guess this is a thing. And I kind of just ran with it. And then ever since then, I've just kind of like built it more and more. And like, it like chose me in a way, like I didn't necessarily choose it. But I just ran with it.
I love it. I love it. No, it's definitely awesome. And yeah, you can see it. I'm sure with maybe people from your gym, whatever, they're all doing it as well.
Oh,
too.
Yeah. Now it's like,
awesome.
Now it's like everywhere I go, everyone's like Toscano. And I'm just like, hey.
That's awesome. And yeah, man, with you being grappling and everything like that, when you first started training, what was maybe the hardest submission for you to kind of master when you first started?
Triangles. I'm not even kidding. I had a very hard time with triangles mostly because of my body type, I think. Like, I'm just very like stocky, and it lends to a more like pressure based style. And like, if you watch like most of my matches, that was one of the first times I pulled guard in a while. Like, I almost always wrestle because it just kind of clicks for me. Like, I didn't even wrestle in high school, but just grappling based wrestling clicks for me. I tend to get a lot of takedowns, and I usually pass. And I want to say like 7 out of 10 times I'll find the back and I'll choke from the back if I'm going to get a submission. But I had a hard time with triangles because I don't know, just something with the ways. I mean, you notice I wear knee pads when I compete. That's because my knees suck. So the pressure on my knees kind of hurts, and just, I don't know, just something about my body. It feels really tight when I do it. But for whatever reason,
got it off. Yeah, no, that's definitely interesting, man. And when it comes to just like, training in general, what's maybe one of your favorite memories on the mats?
One of my favorite memories on the mats? Can it be like anytime?
Anytime. Yeah, anytime.
Oof. There's so many. It's hard to pick. But there's this one time I always laugh about. I have a friend, Kareem, and me and him were still pretty new to training at this time. So I decided to sign up for a Naga. And he didn't sign up, but he decided he was going to come and just see what it's about because he was feeling really nervous about it. And I'll never forget, I was with my other friend at the time, and we're watching this match. And this is early competition exposure to all of us. We just see this guy get picked up and slammed on his head, like really hard. And I see Kareem just standing there like, that's crazy. So, like, I want to say like 60 seconds later, I like turn around and I don't see him anymore. Like, he's gone. And I turned to my friend. I'm like, where'd Kareem go? And we're like looking around, like he's just gone. And then like we start laughing because we're just like, Kareem saw that and said, fuck this.
Yeah.
And he was just gone. But we always laugh about that. So that's definitely one of them. That's the first one that I thought of right now. I could give you like 30, but.
No, fair enough. And yeah, man, when it just comes to like training and stuff, who do you think are some of the best training partners that you have on the mats?
Oof, man, I got so many. But in my gym, again, my friend Kareem, we train like everything together. Like we do MMA sessions, we do Muay Thai sessions, and we do a lot of rolling. My coach would be definitely one of them because he just knows me inside and out as a person. And he knows me emotionally more than anybody, which those who are close to me know that that's like a thing for me. So just being aware of the way my emotions fluctuate when I train, like that helps a lot. So when I'm getting ready for a match, definitely my coach, which is how it should be, right? My friend Sean Yadamarco over at Bergen County Jiu-Jitsu. We're pretty good friends. I would say he's one of the most fun people to train with. I really enjoy training with Sean, and we're just good friends. We laugh a lot. So
yeah, no,
that's a small handful right there. But there's a lot. I like everybody I train with, so I feel bad like picking people because I train with so many people, and I like them all.
Right. No, that definitely makes sense, man. And like when you're training and stuff, you mentioned you have like ADHD and everything like that. With that being said, I mean, how do you think ADHD maybe helps you and stuff in your martial arts journey?
I mean, I would definitely say that I have a higher threshold for just mental fatigue than most people. Like even my day-to-day life, right? Like I wake up, I'm never out of bed later than 6 a.m. And 6 a.m. is even kind of late for me, right? I get up. Sometimes I train in the morning. Sometimes I don't. I go to work. I'm a teacher. I work usually I'm at work around like 7:20 and I'm there till 4:10 at least every day. Then training is usually 5:30, 6 o'clock. So whatever I got to do in between, chores, therapy, whatever the hell it is, like I got plenty of other things, just adult stuff that I got to do in between work and training. So I get all that done. Then I train usually after 8 p.m. at least. It could be a little earlier, a little later some nights. I come home, I get my food ready for the next day, and then I do it all again. And then if I'm in the middle of a graduate class, then I throw studying and schoolwork somewhere into all of that. So those are my typical weekdays. So I think the ADHD helps me like just stay consistent with everything because as hard as it can be to direct my attention onto one specific thing, like it helps me like, I guess, stay functional with all these different things in my life, and all my personal relationships as well. I want to make time for my friends and my girlfriend and my family and everyone else in my life too. So it helps in that respect, I think. But the downside is it can be so hard to focus on one specific thing. And obviously, as you saw before this, I can forget shit too very easily.
Yeah, no, it definitely happens, man. Trust me. I've dealt with a couple fighters, and they're like, "Oh, I have ADHD. Can you just send it to my manager or something?" So trust me, you're not the first guy. You're definitely not going to be the last guy.
Well, interesting enough, I was on 3 different medications as a kid. Like I'm like diagnosed ADHD, and it's like I don't know. Like I think I could do without it overall.
Right.
Like how it's helped me. I would say I can do without it, but I live with it, and I just try not to make it affect my life negatively or affect those close to me negatively.
Well, good. That's definitely good. And that's important. And, one thing I was definitely curious about as well, too, when it comes to like getting a match book for like CFFC, like how do you kind of go about getting on the CFFC card for like grappling? And then when you do get booked, I mean, what's kind of like the behind the scenes stuff that you kind of have to do to like make sure, like you're all good to go for your match?
So it's not as intense as you'd think, like, because it's a huge card and it looks so professional, and it is. It's the most professional. I would say it's the most professional grappling organization I've been involved with as a competitor. But I just filled out the application on the website. I sent a couple DMs, letting them know I filled an application out. Then I got a message saying, "Hey, we have a match for you." And
Wow.
and then that was that. They told me it was Max Livingston. I was like, cool. This is my second time on there. I went against Tyler Carroll once, and I unfortunately got heel hooked in under a minute, but that's another conversation. But yeah, they just DM you, and then once they confirm it, they'll email you a contract that is all professionally written, but it basically just says, "Do you agree to fight without being paid?" and not sue us for anything. It says that in like 7 pages, and you say yes, you sign it, and then that's it. You just show up. You got to go the day before and weigh in, take all the pictures. They want you to promote they send you things that they want you to post to promote as it's coming up. But that's it. All in all, it's cool. And then of course there's the training and the planning and everything else that goes into that. But that's the fun part.
Wow. So when you get that booked and stuff too, do you happen to have to sell a certain amount of tickets or anything like that when you're on the card too?
No, not for this card, which again is. I know a lot of promoters do that, which is great. No, they don't ask anything of you. They ask you to promote, but they don't require you to sell anything, which I think is amazing for the competitors. It seems very for the competitors, just giving us a platform to showcase our jiu-jitsu, giving us a big audience, a bigger audience than most platforms that we compete on are going to give us, especially on UFC Fight Pass. I mean, UFC Fight Pass alone, right? That's got to be like 1 million something views, right?
Oh, yeah.
Who knows everybody's tuning into that all over the world. But even just in the venue, you saw the crowd in the venue. That's surreal to especially people like me who are just quote unquote normal people, that work jobs to have an experience like that. It's surreal,
Yeah, no, it's got to be, man. I mean, with that being said, too, I mean, you're obviously around a lot of big names, like Big Dan Murgulada's there, and then you got CM Punk is announcing, John Morgan. Did you happen to meet any of those announcers or anyone else kind of behind the scenes that maybe you were a little starstruck for, or you just kind of met them in general?
No, I didn't really meet them. I just did my match. I talked to my coach, and then I hung out. A lot of the competitors and me are friends, so I hung out with a lot of them. I would say I had a recent match against Andrew Cockle. Me and him hung out for a little bit, and we talked. We're competing together on June 8th on a team at Arena Grappling on Team HCS, so that's going to be fun.
Nice.
Bunch of people there. Jake Noacker.
Yep.
For a bit. Nick Mancini. All those people. A lot of the people that are around. I noticed Arena HCS is becoming its own little circle now. Yep. So a lot of the people that are hanging around those promotions a lot, I was talking with, and of course I hung out with my coach, Julio Galarza, and we just, shot the shit, watched the matches, watched that fight that broke out, which was very interesting.
Oh my God, no.
That was crazy. I don't know who does that. They literally ruined the match that was going on up there.
Yeah, it was somebody on Petrosky's side too, and it was during his match, all the matches too. You know what I mean?
The crazy thing was it was going on. And I was standing there with Max at the time after, because we were just talking after the match.
Yeah.
And we're looking at it, and we're like, do we do something? I'm like, will we just make it worse? And Max is like, we'll probably just make it worse. We probably shouldn't. So we were just standing there, trying to get out of the way now. More and more people are getting involved. The match is still going on while this is all happening.
Oh, no.
We're just what is happening? This is a mosh pit while a grappling match is going on. It was too much.
It was crazy to me. I'm not trying to knock anything with CFFC because they're obviously a great promotion, but it took forever to break that thing up too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, maybe we can chalk that up to the people that were in the fights, all being people that also fight. So maybe it was a little bit harder to.
Yeah.
I don't know who they were. Maybe that wasn't even the case, but.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I remember I was hearing that a lot of people were like, oh, these a couple 5'6" guys, and they can't break it up. And there was a bunch of people talking crap where I was kind of sitting. But yeah, like you said, it was definitely pretty random, and it kind of sucked that it happened to be towards one of the big matches at the end. And hopefully that doesn't happen again in the future.
Yeah, it was just corny overall because I'm sitting there there's literally a sport for this. What do you
Yeah, I know. No, it's definitely insane. But yeah, all in all, it was a fantastic card. And with that being said, too, I've been at a couple grappling events with CFFC, but it seems like they might have changed the rules a little bit when it comes to this one. I think to maybe get some more finishes and stuff. Did you happen to notice that?
Yeah, the overtime rule set, right? The addition of the overtime. They used to do decisions after the time. Am I correct?
Yes, yeah, I believe so.
I wouldn't know because I got submitted in under a minute, so there was no decision. But.
Right. Yeah. Well, you mentioned a little bit about Tyler Carroll. I'm pretty sure he was also on the card too, and got
he was. Yeah, slick armbar finish.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk us about, if you saw that matchup, what you thought about, watching him get another big win.
I think he's really good at what he does. I think he game plans very well for his opponents and just he trains hard. And clearly, the submissions that he dishes out have been drilled because if you watch, they're very crisp and just like if you watch that armbar he hit, he locks it up, and the way the guy like tries to explode out, like Tyler's hips like follow his elbow line like a corkscrew, like and just he gets right on there and he gets that like you could see the breaking power in it as the guy taps. Like overall, like solid submission. So Tyler definitely just does his. I think he just crosses all his T's and dots all his I's.
Yeah, no, he definitely does, and I definitely think he's a solid competitor and a guy keeping an eye on. And with that being said, obviously with you coming off a big win, I mean, is there any like guys that you would like potentially like to like grapple for fun, maybe at CFFC or maybe even somewhere else?
Dude, I'm down to compete against anybody. Like, really, I'm somebody that doesn't put a lot of stock on ranks, on belts, on any of that stuff. I'll go against anybody. But I would love to get on there with somebody on the UFC roster. That would be surreal for me. Again, that would be another step up for just somebody like me who's just trying to see where this crazy road will take them. Yeah, I compete a lot. I'll be competing this weekend at Men of War Pro against Justin Lesko. And then I don't know who exactly I'm going to be going against on June 8th at Arena Grappling, but I can tell you I'll be on the HCS team. So,
wow. Yeah, man.
You're looking to keep up with me, that'd be where to look.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. I'll definitely have to keep up with that. And thank you for letting us know. And another thing I was curious about too. Obviously with you training in jiu-jitsu, it's a little bit of a different art, but I figured I'd ask you as well too. I'm a Taekwondo instructor. I've been training for 6 years now, or teaching for 6 years, and training for 19 years. And I'm only 24 years old, so I love martial arts, and it's definitely awesome. And with that being said, I mean, what's maybe your advice out there for the guys in my gym to keep on coming in and to keep on getting better and better every single day?
I feel like everything in life, because like I don't know, I'm just going to start naming things that I've done because I find that it's consistent across the board, right? Like I have a bachelor's degree. I am a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. I've done a lot as far as competing goes. I'm working on learning how to speak Spanish right now. And I find that no matter what it is that you're trying to do, Taekwondo is no exception, I'm sure. Just keep showing up. It's cheesy advice. You've heard it before, but it's the truth. Just keep showing up. It's going to seem like you're not making progress. It's going to seem like you're just spinning your wheels. But I don't know. The way I can visualize at least my progress in jiu-jitsu, I'll keep it to martial arts for now, but it goes more like this, right? Every day is just like this. And then one day is just like this, that's how it seems to me. One day you're just like, how long have I been this good? It just happened. And that's been my experience with everything, I got my degree and I'm just like, how did I even do this? I was crying over a test last week. What? It's everything.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I mean, it's cliche for a reason. I mean, you definitely have to show up and
showing up, even on the days where you feel like you have nothing in you, just even if you feel like all you did was step into the gym and just that's it. Nothing even happened when you're there. Again, it's the showing up that matters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you, man. And Nick, dude, it's been awesome talking to you. And I'm looking forward to your future matches. And with that being said, man, what's maybe your final message out there for the people that are going to be watching this video?
I got a bit of a passion for mental health because I've had to deal with a lot of things as far as my mental health goes. And I always like to just tell people when I get on the platform that, if you need to talk to somebody, if you have access to therapy, anything like that, there's no shame in it. It will help you so much. Please do it. Don't suffer in silence. We need to do everything we can to fix this problem in our society with people suffering in silence. Every time I hear about suicidal thoughts and people committing suicide and people suffering in silence, it makes me really sad. And I know what it's like to suffer just in silence, just with your own thoughts and just not knowing what to do and feeling like you can't talk to anybody, and then just feeling like as a man I'm going to be too much of a bitch if I want to talk about any of this stuff. It's it doesn't need to be that way. So just take that for what you will. people.
Yeah, no, I love that message, Nick. That's maybe one of the favorite messages I've ever got on the show. So I definitely appreciate that, man. And Nick, dude, like I said, you have one of the submissions of the night. Definitely had the rash guard and celebration of the night. I'll tell you that. And yeah, man, we're looking forward to what's next with you, man. And thank you for taking some time out of your day to come on the show. It means a lot to me. And yeah, like I said, we're looking forward to what's next.
I'm gonna go drill celebrations because
let's go.
That's the only thing we have to game plan, like Coach said. Everything else is great, but we got to drill celebrations.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Nick. No, again, man, thank you so much for coming on. It means a lot to me. Enjoy the rest of your day, man.